Hi everyone, and welcome back to Mildly Successful Gardener. Today, even though there is a semi-sized blizzard running through Ohio, we are actually going to be starting seeds, and that just blows my mind. But several of these are cold hardy, and the goal is to get them started now at the end of January and have them ready to transplant out about 4 weeks before our frost date, which is kind of crazy to me because I've never transplanted anything out before a frost date. I've always been very scared of hitting that frost date wrong, but I've been doing some research, and if I harden them off right, this should work out well. And I was burned last time with my sweet peas, so you know what? We're trying things and we're trying new things. And so I might get burned, I might not. In addition to starting seeds, I have a couple of grow lights I want to put in. I ran out of space last year and I am not gonna let that happen again this year, but I'm probably starting more seeds, so it'll probably still happen. But we're trying to be proactive here. I'm also going to start cold stratifying some seeds. I do that by putting them in the fridge for about 4 to 6 weeks before I start growing them out. This has worked well in the past for me, so I feel good about this. Last year I did do the milk jug method for a couple of seeds. I think foxglove was one of them, snapdragons as well, and coneflowers. And that works well for some of them, but I wasn't really thinking I would try it again this year. Someone did mention that this works well for poppies, which I'm also going to be trying today with the ice cube tray method. I'll be putting the poppies in there, putting more water in, putting them back in the freezer. And they suggested doing the milk jug method for that. So if I can get my hands on one, I might hold some seeds back and try that. I'm thinking I'm gonna try 3 different methods for the poppies. I'm gonna do the ice tray method. I'm going to do the milk jug method if I can get my hands on a milk jug. We don't drink milk really in this house. That comes in the jug. And I'm also going to just kind of sprinkle them in. Though right now you could not pay me to go outside. It is so cold. So maybe in a week or two, I will go and if I have some left over, sprinkle some out on the snow because they say that also really works. So we have a busy day. And let's get started. So this is my seed growing setup. When we first moved in, these racks were here and I thought, what a great way to start seeds. And so we kind of retrofitted it to work. We have, it's kind of a Frankenstein setup. None of these lights look the same. We hooked these up. I have another one down here. So then I have a tray on the ground. And today I'm going to be adding lights here and also extended back here. So I got 2 sets for each section, a couple 4-footers, a couple 2-footers. So we'll be setting those up. And while we're over here, the method that I use for seed starting involves these little trays. When I ordered these a year or 2 years ago, I had always used the little black ones, and I thought, how cool would it be to use the plastic so you can see the roots growing? And I've been watching a lot of videos and reading, and soil blocking has become really popular. While I think soil blocking is really cool and definitely something I'll look to in the future, while I have these perfectly good starting containers, I'm just gonna use these because it seems almost like a worst waste to throw these out when I have something that works so well. But in the future, when these eventually break down and I need something new, I might look into soil blocking. Let's get some lights up. Jacob! Yeah. Help! slight change of plans. The lights aren't going up today. The screws that we were using weren't going in because there aren't studs where we need them to be, and they won't stay in the drywall, in just drywall. So the husband is coming up with some ulterior way of doing this. I don't know how his brain works. We just sort of trust the process and assume our lights are going to get hung up in some sort of fashion. And since that is off the menu today, we're just going to do some old-fashioned seed starting. Still pretty good to me. Today we're going to start off with foxglove. I'm wearing gloves because I don't want to pick dirt out from underneath my nails. I swear I'm not a wuss. So for this one, we're going to need to leave them on the top of the soil. These are pelleted, so they're a little bit more, you can see them just a smidgen better, but they're still so tiny. So for my potting mixture, I just use whatever's available. In this case, it was Miracle-Gro potting soil because I couldn't get out to get the cheaper, bigger bag because Lowe's, the garden center, was closed. I'm not very picky about it. I just kind of pick out the larger chunks so the seeds don't have to compete with that. Beautiful. I'm very scared for this. I'm gonna do one per, and I'm just gonna kind of push it down a little bit so it's for sure in contact with the dirt, but then again, not covering it. I'm being very careful with this vial because I don't want them to all spill out at once, because I would lose my mind if they did. I think I'm gonna go back and put 2 in. Now that those are in, I'm going to give them a light spray. So they can get moist. And because I didn't know what humidity domes were when I first started out, we're going the bougie route with plastic wrap to cover these off. Boom. So I made up name tags so we would know what we're growing. Just gonna hope that goes through. There we go. Boom, first one done. Next up for our cold hardy seeds, we're going to be using sweet peas. Now I have the sweet peas that I saved from last year, and I also have the Elegance formula mix that I got from Johnny's. So we're gonna be doing both of these up. Apparently I'm crazy and we're just gonna do all of the sweet peas, but I'm also kind of here for it. So I'm gonna rip this open. See how many we got in here. Now there is talk amongst gardeners about the merits of soaking your seeds, your sweet peas, before you start. And this is apparently a myth, that it doesn't really do anything added, especially also nicking is something that gardeners like to do. And so last year I soaked, and this year I'm just going to do straight sowing. Okay. I had more than I expected for sweet peas, so we'll put those aside. Keep those as a backup in case things go south. And the other two I'm going to do are my sweet pea Elegance. It's very nice going from foxglove to sweet peas because the seeds are just huge, huge in comparison. Now these do go under the dirt, so I'm just gonna kind of pop them in and then I'm gonna go back and cover them. And still got a lot left, so we're good on that front. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna move the dirt over those. I am going to bottom water these as well, so I'm not too concerned about that. And now it's time to start off with our snapdragons. I'm starting with the Madame Butterfly Bronze that I had left over from last year from Eden Brothers. And we're back to super skinny seeds, which does not help that my gloves are black. I know there's more in here, so I'm actually going to rip the side of it, I think. These seeds will not elude me. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so there weren't as many seeds in here as I thought there were. I'm just going to pat them so they're hopefully touching the dirt. And these are another one that can use some humidity, so I'm not expecting very many from this Madame Butterfly Bronze because there were fewer seeds in there than I expected, and also it's hard to see where they went. Oh wait, I didn't water them. Oh my gosh, they really would have done nothing. Boom. Okay, now she's done. Now we're gonna move on to the Johnny's Potomac Custom Mix. I love a good mix. You get so much more than you expected. All right, so they come in this little pouch. Because once again, these seeds are so small. Oh boy. Actually gonna take my glove off for this. All right, all of our cold hardy seeds are potted up and ready to go. The snapdragons, there's a good chance I'll do another sowing of this closer to the frost date, say in March, just so I have another wave going. But for now, I'm gonna go pop these on underneath the lights and get these started. Next up, we're going to be starting cold stratifying for a couple seeds. I use these containers because this is what I have on hand. And so they'll sit in the fridge like this for about 4 to 6 weeks. And then when they come out, I actually flip them over very rudely and like jab holes in the bottom so that I can water them and they'll drain. So not super effective, but also effective at the same time. So the first one up that I'm doing is actually my double coated raspberry beret that I saved off of a plant that I bought last year. I really love echinacea, and this one, in my opinion, was a really pretty one. So I just dumped dirt in here, and then I put the seeds on top of here before I started. And then I just kind of like sprinkle them in. Look away if you're very intentional about how you do this. And then I just blop them in. I know going into this that I'm going to have to prick them out once they germinate, and I'm okay with that. The goal right now is just to get them stratified. And so you want them a little wet. It looks really wet right now, but it should soak in. So I'm just gonna pop this top on, and then I wanted to keep track of when I started this. So I'm just gonna pop the date on here. What is today? Okay. And then we're good to go. And so I'll just stack these up and put them in the back of my refrigerator and hope my husband doesn't notice. And then I'm going to do columbine. I'm gonna do 2 verbena. And also, I know I said I wasn't going to, but I saw somewhere that hollyhock can flower, perhaps if you add some cold stratification. And I'm desperate, so, and I had some seeds left over. I'm just gonna use all of them and see what happens. Okay, last but not least, we have poppies. Shout out to my grandma who works at a thrift store and was able to get me 3 different ice cube trays for the very, very low price of free. And I have them already filled up halfway with ice. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna drop 2 little poppy seeds, because they're so tiny, in here. And then I'm gonna go fill them all the way up with water, stick them back in my freezer, and let them freeze up. And then probably towards March-ish, I'll pop these out, and then I will kind of stamp them into the ground so that they can still get their light to germinate, but they also have that cold temperature that they need. And I'm gonna try to not use all my seeds so that I can use the 2 different methods that I talked about earlier as well. Let's get started. So once again, we have our little container, and I can already tell that these are gonna be so, so small. Oh, yeah, another little fun packet. Holy tiny. All right, gloves are gonna come off again. The added benefit of using this ice tray method that I'm quickly realizing is that I'm gonna be able to see how many seeds I have in here just because it's not dirt. And so I'll be able to see just how many I have in each. And you know that they're actually, oh, these are so small. I'm not even gonna try to show you because they're so small. All right, let's get to it. Boom. The ice also kind of holds them in their spot, which is nice. Ooh. Hopefully if I get any of these to work, they'll make a lot of seeds so I A, don't have to buy any more, and B, can just have an eternal supply. All right, tiny little seeds dispersed, and we still have, well, we just have a few seeds left, and you can't even see them because they're so tiny. So I might have to actually get some more poppies from the store. We'll see if maybe Lowe's just has a generic brand and go from there. Now I'm gonna go fill these up and I'm gonna pop them back into the fridge. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode here at Mildly Successful Gardener. It feels almost surreal to be starting seeds so early in the year, but also kind of exciting to get my hands back in the dirt and trying new methods that I haven't done before. And there's something invigorating about that. And I think always learning and always being open to new ideas in the garden is what I love so much about it, and just how much it has to teach me and how much others can show as well. So stick around and we'll see if this works. Thanks, guys.